Those are all one step. All the ones that we've done so far were just one step problems. We either subtracted or we multiplied. Same with division and addition. They're one step problems. Down at the bottom though, we get into multi-step. These are the ones that a lot of times cause problems because there's a lot of things you need to do, a lot of steps you need to take, and a lot of people want to skip several of them and it ends up being the wrong answer. Let's do negative 10x plus 3 times the quantity 4x minus 2 equals 6. What you have to make sure and do is simplify both sides of the equation completely before you ever try to move something to the other side or vice versa. Okay? You have to look at each individual side and make sure there's nothing you can do before you start moving things over. So can we do anything to this side? Distribute the 3 in. So the negative 10x is going to stay the same, and you're going to distribute that 3. So it'll be plus 12x minus 6 equals 6. So we've done one step. So we still look over there. Is the left side simplified? No. We can put these two together. Negative 10 plus 12 would be what? 2x minus 6 equals 6. Now, can we do anything to this? No, just this. No. So now you need to move things over. So your x is right here. You've got to get rid of the 6 and the 2. Which one do you get rid of first? The 6. When you're solving equations like this, it's pretty much the opposite of the order of operation. Order of operation says multiply and divide first, right? Then subtract. It's pretty much the opposite of that when you're solving these equations. So we add 6, 2x equals 12, and what? Divide by 2, x equals 6. We'll do one more of those. Two times the quantity 2x minus 1 minus 4 times the quantity 3x plus 1 equals 2. So this is a lot like the last one, except there's a couple more steps. Now you got to distribute 2 times over on the left. So multiplying the 2 in, get 4x minus 2. What do we have to be careful of there? What? The negative. Make sure you distribute negative 4 in there. Negative 4 times 3. So don't put a sign here. A lot of people put that negative there, and then they distribute the 4. Don't put any sign right there. Leave that blank, and just distribute negative 4 times 3 is negative 12x. So an x is a minus, but it's a negative 12. And then distribute the 4 onto the 1 equals 2. Now another thing that some people will try is right here, maybe you'll put a plus 4 for both sides. You can't do that until this is completely simplified, which it's not. So we put the 4x and the 12x together, and what do we have? Negative 8x. And again, feel free to cross those off if you have more than one thing to put together. And then negative 2 minus 4 will be minus 6 equals 2. So what do we do now? Add the 6. So negative 8x equals 8, and lastly, divide off the negative 8 to get x by itself. Questions on those? Most of you, I'm sure, are well above that. It's okay if you're not. Look up at the top of page 21. We're going to do a few of these homework. If you can solve these equations, you're not even solving, actually. You're just kind of moving things around to get the formula in the form that you need it in. So it says the formula for the surface area S of a cone is S equals pi RL plus pi r squared. So they're giving you that formula as they will in homework. They'll just have a formula. It's probably going to have some pi's in it. They'll probably look similar to that. It says solve the formula for L. So we've got to get that L by itself. So you're not going to be able to solve this down to where it's going to say L equals 3. Like that x equals negative 1 up there. You're not going to end up with that answer because you don't have any numbers to plug in. All you want to do is get this L by itself and move this other stuff to the other side. Okay? So we've got to move this pi RL. What's happening right here? Multiplication. And we've got to move this plus pi r squared. So which one of those would you move first? The pi r squared. It's just like when you had x plus 3 up there and you moved the 3. So we're going to subtract pi r squared from both sides. So can you type S minus pi r squared in your calculator? You don't have any idea how, do you? I don't either. You can't do it. So you're not going to get an answer here. It's not going to be like 3 or anything. You're just going to write S minus pi r squared. You're just writing that, what you just tried to do, but you couldn't. Equals pi r L. So what do we still have to get rid of? Pi r. How do we do that? You think? Divide by pi r. Because it's being multiplied. Use the same steps that you would if you were solving. And again, you can't type that in your calculator and get an answer. You just rewrite it. So that cancels from that side. So we solved for L. We got everything else to the other side. We got L by itself. Let's do one more of those. This is the area of a trapezoid, which we saw last time. And they want us to solve for H. So get H by itself. So what operation is going on here? The multiplication, what about here between this? Multiplication. So everything's going to have to be divided. But I would do that in 2 steps. If you're not going to divide this 1/2, what are you going to do? multiply times what? 2, or 2 over 1, same thing. So that's the first thing I would do here. Multiply the whole thing by 2 over 1. You don't have to write 2 over 1, because 2 is the same thing. But that's going to, 2 times a would be 2a, and that is going to cancel that 1/2. Okay? Just like it would if you were solving for a variable. You're going to actually get an answer. So that leaves us with h, b1 plus b2. So what do we say is going on between the h and that parenthesis? Multiplication. So what you can do here is actually divide by that whole thing. b1 plus b2. Since h is being multiplied times that whole thing, you can divide off the whole thing. That all will cancel. So you're left with h, and then just rewrite this